We are the champions. Well, the NBA season has finally ended, the 2025 season, and now I can finally finish off my NBA what ifs. We've had some fun what ifs, haven't we? We did a what if the Toronto Raptors in 2001. Actually, the ball bounced into the rim, into the basket for Vince Carter, and the Raptors would face the Bucks for the 2001 Eastern Finals instead of the Sixers and Bucks. We took a look at what if Golden State had a chance to repeat as champs in 1976. I know you'll be thinking, well, what if the 73 and 9 Warriors were the 2016 champs? Do you do a finals rematch? Technically, that's from the next series, but technically, no. If you get to a finals, you're disqualified. I wanted to see the teams that fell just a bit short. We talked about the Pistons in 91. What if they actually went to the finals against the Lakers to repeat? And many others. Heck, I even did a what if the 1996 Vancouver Grizzlies were an expansion team and got to the NBA final. I got NBA playoffs. I mean, it's fun to dream. And you have a Seattle Vancouver rivalry. But this is the finale. This is it. The last team, the 30th and last team in the NBA. Well, 35th, sorry, including those moved teams. But yeah, we're down. We're finally done with this. And we are doing the last video goes to the 2025 NBA champions. A champion that made a state finally win a Big Four title, which they're not really known for. They're more known for the college programs and all that. A team that basically Jason Lundgren, one of my good Facebook and YouTube friends, cheered against because obviously the team that won took his beloved Sonics away from Seattle. Obviously, you'll probably know who it is. Well, obviously, by saying the 2025 champions. But, I had to hold off until things happened. But anyway, this isn't about the Seattle Sonics. This is about the OKC Thunder and their greatest what if chance. We're playing basketball sims. We're playing basketball sims. He's playing what if NBA. Cutter's doing what if NBA. Yeah. Oh, all the teams around the world got to know that the Raptors are number one. But what about the Bulls, Wizards, and Pistons? They all have great what ifs. Stories about old teams like the Kansas City Kings and maybe even the Minneapolis Lakers. But we all know we're going to do some basketball. He's doing basketball. He's doing basketball. What if? Cutter's doing what if NBA? So what if NBA? So anyway, the Oklahoma City Thunder started off life as the Seattle Sonics. I kind of got into the Seattle Sonics side of things when I talked about Seattle, and it's what if 94. Remember when they were the first 1 seed to fall to an 8 seed that beat the Denver Nuggets in 1994? And of course, it was a little bit unfair advantage because the Nuggets were in a best of 5 and a best of 7. The NBA decided not to have an best of 7 first round until 2003. So what ends up happening is that the Seattle Sonics were a pretty good team, born in 1968, I like to say. And then in the 70s, they started looking good. Lenny Wilkins transitioned from Sonics legend to coach and helped out. Gus Williams looking good. Jack Sigma and a few other players. And the Sonics won the 1979 NBA championships, which is like great. The Sonics in the 80s weren't really the best. Sigma kept them in there. And in the 90s, they had Sean Kemp, they had Gary Payton, they had a wide open dunking offense, they had Deadlove Shrimp, they had, I wouldn't say Finn Baker, but that's not it. Nate McMillan. So yeah, 94, they were good. They were the best team in the NBA. Of course, that was when MJ left to play minor league baseball. And the Sonics looked like they were going to win a title. But then fate would deal them a blow as they were looking good against the 8 seed Denver Nuggets, who were just 2 games above 500. However, the Nuggets won both their home games, and then Game 5 in lovely Seattle. It went to overtime. Somehow, in some way, the Nuggets beat the Sonics, and of course, who could forget Dikembe Mutombo's pose when he had the ball behind his head and he was on the floor saying, "Oh my God!" The Sonics would get to the NBA Finals in 1996, but fell to MJ. Well, it was a perfect fit. MJ won the championship on Father's Day, and MJ's dad died in '93, and that's kind of why MJ wanted to play baseball, to honor his dad, who thought he could be a baseball player. Seattle had a few other chances, but they fell flat off the map. And Clay Bennett bought the Sonics, but then he decided not to like redo the Seattle's arena and basically sold the team to Oklahoma City. Well, moved the team to Oklahoma City. And Seattle fans were pissed off because Kevin Durant would play one season in a Seattle Sonics jersey and then would move on to Oklahoma City. With their blue jerseys and their generic jerseys, if you will, they weren't really a hit. They were a hit in Oklahoma because, they finally had a Big Four baseball team. A Big Four team. Baseball was like a minor league team. Hockey, they had a minor league team. And football, well, football would be king, but that's college football. So anyway, Oklahoma City came through with Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden on the same freaking team. Can you imagine those three guys on the same team? Well, it happened. Yeah, the Thunder actually sneaked to the 2012 championship against the Miami Heat, but the big three of Wade, LeBron, and Bosh survived the storm of the big three of Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. So those three guys were there. Oklahoma City faltered. Okay, no big deal. But then they kept missing out. They kept getting a roadblock in the name of the Golden State Warriors, which is apropos because in 2016, the year I'm doing the what if about the Thunder, they had a chance to screw the Thunder over. So OKC has done pretty well. They've drafted well. They made some massive moves. Well, they drafted Luguentz Dort, who's Canadian from the Montreal area. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, people forget that he wasn't drafted by the Thunder. Oh no, he was drafted by the Hornets. Then they traded him to the Clippers, and then the Clippers traded him to Oklahoma City for the one of James Harden, if I'm correct. Probably am not. But yeah, SGA was languishing as a fresh-faced guy with the Clippers, and then he ended up being a Thunder, and the Thunder boomed through, and they're the 2015 champions. What can I say? Team of ragtag players like Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hardenstein, and of course the two Canadians, SGA from Hamilton and Dort from Montreal. So they gelled and have brought a championship to the Thunder, and it's the second in franchise history because the Sonics. So congratulations, Seattle, on winning a championship. But Seattle fans will be bitter about this championship, kind of like Quebec City fans when the Nordiques won the championship their first season after moving to Denver. So I can feel for you. I really do. Nevertheless, let's talk about the 2016 Oklahoma City Thunder and what could have been one of the biggest upsets in playoff history. All right, so the 2016 Oklahoma City Thunder, this was the 8th season in Oklahoma City after Clay Bennett just basically up and left and ruined Seattle by moving it to Oklahoma City. And it's 50th in the NBA. And Billy Donovan, the great coach of Providence in Florida, I think it was at Kentucky. Was he Kentucky? Yeah, I think Billy Donovan coached Kentucky. Good coach. Anyway, the Thunder would win the division, go on that run. It would have been one of the biggest upsets in history if they took care of those Golden State Warriors. Go Golden Grounds, Crispy cereal for great breakfast treat. Anyway, the Warriors would lose to the Cavs and all that. It was kind of a weird move for Oklahoma City. They had taken care of. They were up 3-1 on the Warriors, and it looked like they were going to the NBA Finals. And then the Warriors somehow pulled off a massive upset and won 3 straight games. But he who lives by the 3-1 comeback dies by the 3-1 comeback, and that's what Oklahoma City Thunder basically said with karma in the way, basically saying that the Warriors were up 3-1 and then choked it. Worst of all, Kevin Durant decided to leave the team in free agency for Golden State of all teams. I was like, what the fuck? He was title chasing. The Thunder would not reach the conference finals till 2025, and of course, they're the defending NBA champions. In fact, it's the longest in modern NBA history for a 7-year stretch to have 7 franchises. So 7 different franchises in 7 years. Because you have OKC, Boston, going backwards, of course, Denver, Golden State, Milwaukee, the Lakers, and of course, the beloved Toronto Raptors. And the Thunder won 45 games and failed to make the playoffs. They were ninth. I mean, 45 games is pretty good, but you fucking missed the playoffs? I mean, such is life in the NBA's Western Conference where it's more likely a team wins like 43, 44, 45 games and can't even, like 45 to 48 games and they can't even make the playoffs because it's so tight. So anyway, Scott Brooks was fired and then Billy Donovan came. They made a few picks, but they weren't really that great. Campaign, okay, but anyway, the Thunder traded Jeremy Lamb to Charlotte for Luke Ridnour and a future second round pick. And then Ridnour was traded to the Raptors for the draft rights to Tomislav Subject. Ridnour, I don't think played with the Raptors. I think he retired. So anyway, free agency happened. They got Enes Kanter. Well, Enes Kanter and Kyle Singler were set to hit free agency. But Singler stayed with the team for 5 years and Kanter went to Portland for 4 years. However, it was an offer sheet. And they actually matched it to resign Kanter. So Portland could have had Enes Kanter. I think he went back to Portland one time. Anyway, they did all that. So anyway, yeah, the front office getting Billy Donovan and all that, who was the guy who led the Gators to back-to-back titles in the mid 2000s, who were the last back-to-back champs until UConn took over in the 2020s. So the roster: Steven Adams from Pitt, the guy from New Zealand, Nick Collison, Kevin Durant, Randy Foy, good player, Serge Ibaka, future Raptor, Enes Kanter from Turkey, gobble gobble, Nazir Mohammed, Andre Robertson, Deion Waiters, and Russell Westbrook, among others. Yeah, it's crazy that you have. Oh, Harden wasn't on this team because Harden was gone. Nevertheless, so Enes Kanter decided to wear number 11 and all that. In the conference, well, in the division, they blew out the conference. Portland also was there too, with Utah, Denver, and Minnesota second. Golden State 73 wins were first. San Antonio 67 wins. Man, lost in the shuffle for Golden State was his first in winning 67 games. Thunder with 55, and then the Clippers, Portland, Dallas, Memphis, and Houston. So anyway, regular season in the playoffs, they took on the Mavericks, lost game 2 at home, but out of the net, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook worked over Dallas. And then the conference semis against San Antonio. Now the rules, of course, in the NBA are, unlike the NHL, is that you don't reseed. So basically, whoever wins the 7-2 matchup has to face the 6-3 winner no matter what in the NBA. In the NHL, it could be revamped. So Oklahoma City being number 3 had to face number 2 San Antonio. Actually, it would not have mattered in the first place because Golden State were the 1 seed and won. Yeah. So they were down 2 games to 1 to the Spurs, and it looked like the Spurs were on their way. But somehow, in some way, Durant and Westbrook put up the points, and the Spurs got shocked. 67 wins down the fucking drain. Part of me says I should have done the 2016 Spurs as my what if. I can't remember what I did, like what I went with the Spurs. You would think I would know this off the top of my fucking head, but it's not happening. Spurs 2011. Oh yeah, 2011 when they were the 1 seed and Memphis beat them. It's the 8 seed. Fair. Conference finals. They lost game 2, but then they won 2 at home. Durant and Westbrook. All they had to do was win 1 game, even at home in game 6. Durant did well with the points, but the team just blew it. And Golden State shocked the world by coming back from 3-1 down. Yes, they won 73 games, but the Thunder should have finished the job. I think every non-Golden State fan said they should have done the fucking job. And I agree. Yeah. Kevin Durant twice was named NBA Western Player of the Month, I think it was. Was it the Western Player of the Month or no? Or the NBA Player of the Month? Nevertheless, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were all stars. Westbrook was part of the NBA first team. The second team were Durant. I don't think 2016 was 2016 was not the year he had the He averaged the triple double, or did he? I think he did, didn't he? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. 13 triple double of the season. March 2016, but no, it was wrong. Oh, that. Injuries wise, Kevin Durant had missed 6 games due to injury. That hamstring thing, and 100 represent 10 games. Anyway, yeah. So they made some moves and all that. They even picked up Randy Foye at the trade deadline from Denver for DJ Augustine, Steve Novak, and 2 second-round picks. Worked out. So yeah, the Thunder couldn't believe their luck. They were up 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, I must say, and then they blew it. You just can't do that. Anyway, what would happen if the Thunder didn't blow the lead and took care of things and got to Cleveland? So the Oklahoma City Thunder with 55 wins would face the 57-win Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland would have home court because they had the most wins. See the lineups and all that. Game 1 sees the Thunder win 109-106. Thunder did it. Kevin Durant, 36 points. Kevin Durant, baby. 22 from Westbrook, 13 from Ibaka. Robertson, 25 minutes as a starter, and he was a starter, I checked. 3 points for Adams. 12 from Enes Kanter, and Dion Waiters, 8 points in 26 minutes off the bench. Randy Foye, 7 points in 8 minutes. Nick Collison, Anthony Morrow, Cameron Payne. Cleveland, 29 from LeBron, 17 from Kyrie, 15 from J.R. Smith, 11 Thompson there. Deladova with 11 points. Iman Shumpert, Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson, former Nets icon, and Tim Mozgov. To fight. Oh, yeah, that's my peel. Game 2, the Thunder win 106-94. KD gets a sunshine band and gets the double-double. So does Westbrook. Well, yeah, Westbrook gets a triple-double, 21 points. Why does he not play the game? He got a triple-double. Dion, 14. Enos, 14. Foy, Singler, Collison, Morrow, Payne, Novak, DJ Augustine, Huestis, McGarry, and Nazim Muhammad off the bench. Yeah, Novak and Augustine went to Denver, but didn't matter. 16 from Kyrie, 15 from LeBron, and 14 from Kevin. James Fry, 10 for 14. Ivan Shumpert, 2 points in 19 minutes. Sasha Khan, Anderson Ferraro, Carlitos Akon, Mo Williams, James Jones, and Jordan McRae as they would the bench. Thunder up 2-0, coming home. I'm coming home. Coming home. And OKC wins 107-89 as Westbrook puts up 21.7 assists. So it looks like OKC would be pretty much like, comfortable. You beat Golden State, you have the big momentum. 27 from Kyrie, J.R. Smith with only 5. LeBron with only 15. Here's James Jones. Oklahoma at home, 21 from Westbrook. 17 off the bench from Cantor. 16 from Durant. Right? Right. And now time for game 4. Is it a sweep? The answer is no, it's not a sweep. As the Cavs would win 105-96, LeBron remembered who the heck he was and almost got triple-double. Kyrie, 22, Kevin Love, 20. 1. I love you, Joe. JR, 13, Tristan, 6. Richard Jefferson, 10 points in 13 minutes. 26 for Durant, 18 for Westbrook. But it didn't matter. Dan Waiters had 13 points. You broke up with me. And then game 5 sees the Thunder lose the game 147-128. They had to come back from a 14-point deficit to force overtime, but they lost. So the Cavaliers will force at least a game 6. Yikes. 44 from Westbrook in 44. Durant, 24 points in 45 minutes. Ibaka, 17 points. Adams, 12. Robertson, 5 fouls, 5 points. Dion, 9 points in 23 minutes. Cantor, 8 and 16. They did empty the bench in a sense. Cleveland, 43 from LeBron in 48 minutes. Kyrie, 32. Love, JR, and Tristan, double digits. Richard Jefferson, 2 points in 10 minutes. Mozgov, 4 and 5. Game 6. And the Thunder, well, the Thunder were up 3-0. They win game six. So at least they didn't have to go to game seven. Westbrook, the hero, and the Thunder would have won the NBA championship. It would have taken them 6 games, but they still would have won the title. And then Oklahoma would have got that Big Four title. 34 for Kyrie. The question is, would Durant leave? I don't think he would have. 19 for LeBron. 35 from Westbrook. Durant, 23 points. Yeah, I think they would have kept him. But he left for Golden State. If you can't beat him, join him. So that ends my NBA journey. I hope you enjoyed it. And that's the end of the journey for everyone for sim matchup. I did baseball, basketball, football, hockey. I don't do college. All that. So stick around. There'll be a lot more stuff like Degrassi stuff coming up. My Canada Day stuff to do with emulators and PC games I have on my laptop. Yep, I gotta do out of the park baseball, like the Legends League. Gotta do PC replay baseball whenever possible. Second and 10 football. We'll be getting some weird shit coming up soon enough. And that's all I've got. Really, that's all I got. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.